few moments, and we got dozens of new games, trailers,
자, 왔습니다.
which means there's only one thing
30초 남았네요.
It's countdown time. And I'll
PC 게이밍 쇼 같이 봐봅시다. 오, 네, 막 엄청 기대되는 작품들이 나올 거라고 기대하진 않는데 빅토리아 3가 일단 이번에 공개된다는 얘기가 있어가지고 그거 기대하고 지금 보는 거거든요, 전. 과연 어떤 게 나올지.
Welcome to the PC Gaming Show 2022. I'm Day 9 still, one of your hosts, joined again
게임은
by the
PC지.
amazing Mika Bergen. While we may look like elaborate Unreal Engine renders, we are here in the flesh, as is the hardware, bringing you the best and brightest in the world of PC gaming.
Over the next 2 hours, we are going to showcase a metric ton of
이거
killer
자막이
PC games through
생성 자막인가?
exclusive interviews and a few surprises
끕시다.
along the way.
도움이 안
And
되네.
you, the folks at home, might even be able to win yourself a fancy computer if you play your cards right.
And now you may remember
저거 옆에 스팀덱 아니에요?
things ended quite literally explosively.
Yeah.
There was
아닌가?
a robot who tried to destroy the human race, electrocuted me. I think I died.
Definitely died.
빨리 게임 트레일러를 보여줘. 이런 거
Standard
말고.
robot apocalyptic stuff, just minus the overbearing anime dad and existential crises.
Yeah, well, actually, what happened to DevBot anyway? Wasn't he supposed to come back for this show for
Yeah.
like Revenge of the DevBot?
Well, he's dead.
Oh.
We melted him down to try to make our own graphics cards since they're still hard to find, and I would say he's in a better place, but I played Cyberpunk 2077 and he's not.
That's
사이버펑크?
pretty dark for the start of the show.
Or nostalgic.
Aw.
But none of that matters because the show actually took place.
뭐 사이버펑크 2077 플레이하기에 뭐 충분한 PC였다 그런 얘기였던 것 같은데 아닌가?
Told me this 5 minutes before we went live. I am saying there's a multiverse.
All right.
We're now apparently on Earth 3, which
Ooh.
is not to be confused with E3 because this show is still happening.
Oh, and we are so thrilled to be back as a part of this weekend full of celebrations of gaming by putting the spotlight on something near and dear to our hearts. PC gaming.
And so without any further ado, it's time for my favorite part.
게임은 PC죠. 한다. 뭐야? 모두스 게임즈? 리플라이 게임 스튜디오. 팅커벨인가? 몬스터 기본이 이젠 그냥 좀비야, 좀비. 약간 느낌은 JRPG 느낌 나는데 아트풍 같은 게. 제작자가 어렸을 때 파판 세븐을 재밌게 플레이했을 것 같은 그런 느낌? 나 가슴에 소울스톤? 뭐야? 흑화한다. 소울스티스? September 20. PC 데모를 지금 할 수 있다는 거 아니야? 오, 클라이 게임은 다 재밌죠? 돈 스타브 진화판 느낌인데? 재밌겠다. 그냥 그림만 봐도 재밌어 보여. 롯우드. 뭐야. 언제 될지 모른다. 아직 멀었나 보다. 택티컬 브리치. 근데 그니까 모자가 저 대마법사 모자를 쓰고 있는데 택티컬 위저드라고? 이게 뭐야? 뭔 혼종이야? 일단 턴제인 것 같은데 약간 엑스컴류인 것 같거든요? 아닌가? 택티컬 마법 배틀 뭐냐고. 진짜 무슨 혼종이야 이건. 개웃기네. 오, 택티컬 브리치 위저드. 야, 진짜 혼종이다 이건. 강령술도 쓰네.
You just saw Tactical Breach Wizards, a turn-based game of sorcery and SWAT team strategy from the makers of Gunpoint and Heat Signature. My strategy, personally, is very simple. Breach, bang, clear, magic missile, dramatic flourish, abra, cadaver.
Abracadabra.
Get it? Cadaver, dead body. Next, we have a solution to the age-old problem of not having time to read and play video games. Just do both at the same time, obviously. Star Wars Industries has you covered with their sci-fi
스타워즈라고
thriller
방금 그러지
inspired by
않았나?
Stanislaw Lem's novel, The Invincible. So here's your first look at the first ever gameplay footage.
First gameplay. 잘못 들은 것 같다. 아닌가? 잠깐만, 이거는 그냥 그거 같죠? 최초 공개라는 거예요. 세계 최초 공개. 월드 프리미어. 그 스타워즈 인터랙티브 드라마 그 게임 아닌가? 스타워즈는? 그거밖에 기억이 안 나는데. 스타워즈는 아닌 것 같다. 잘못 들었나 보다. 그냥 별에서 하는 이야기인 것 같은데. The Invincible. 아, 스타워드 인더스트리에서 개발한 게임이네. 우와. 아니, 때깔은 좋은데? 때깔은 좋네요.
The radiation level is growing rapidly. It's starting to get interesting.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Doctor.
저 띠릭띠릭거리는 소리가 분위기를 묘하게 만드네. 일단 이런 게임들이 웬만하면 재밌거든요. 스토리 막 엄청 구리지 않으면. 보통 스토리에 힘을 주기 많이 주기 때문에.
I located the mobile antimatter cannon.
Another one? How many of those did they... Is it active?
Dead.
I admire your composure.
Wait, someone's here. data. They're dead.
So you found someone. Fortunately, such unpleasant discoveries are indispensable to the mission.
뭔가 단서 찾는 거를 저 아까 오른손에 들고 있던 기계를 활용해가지고 단서를 찾는 것 같은데 그거 좀 독특하다. 야, 그래픽은 때깔은 진짜 끝내주는데.
That's a good question. I'm getting into the recorder. What do we have here? Uh-huh. They made their way through with a beam of antimatter.
How subtle. Did you locate this passage?
I'm looking at it now. They pierced a hole several
재밌을
meters
것
in
같다, 이거.
diameter and
기대
several
많이
dozen
된다.
meters long.
결국 미스터리를 풀어나가는 게 가장 상업적으로 이용하기 좋은 스토리라서.
My head feels like it's bursting from pressure.
그러니까 뭐랄까 이야기를 풀어나가기 좋다고 해야 되나?
Can you continue?
Yes. I'm better now.
저는 좀 그렇게 생각을 하거든요. 스토리 요즘 스토리들 보면 계속 미스터리를 던져주고 그거를 하나씩 확인해 나가면서 이제 사람을 몰입을 시키면서 끌고 가는 경우가 많은데 그러면서 이제 진짜 하고 싶은 얘기를 거기에 섞어서 이제 푸는데 어찌 됐든 이야기를 끝까지 듣도록 앉아있게 만들어야 되니까 그 미스터리를 활용해 가지고 저게 뭐지? 하면서 계속 떠나지를 못하게 만드는 거죠.
What task?
This is one of the robots carrying containers with research material. It took the container, but never left that place.
Why do you think it's stuck?
Well, it goes in circles using the same path. The robot's gone,
You must have broken his loop.
but I didn't.
He must have done something. Never mind. Follow it.
Fuck! It's getting up.
What?
뭐야?
No! Antimat!
Come on, Yasna.
부활했는데?
Hi.
오씨. 와,
Are you alive?
개 무섭다.
Yes, it's fucked up the robot.
저걸로 터널을 뚫은 거구나. 그 얘기가 있죠. 총구도 너를 본다고.
Take care of our people, Novik.
이게 재밌겠다. 기대작이 하나 늘었네요.
It's time to take a pit stop at the nearest dungeon to prove that chivalry
콩나물이다.
isn't dead. And if you think I emphasize those words weirdly, you're right. And it'll all make sense momentarily when you see these next 4 games, especially when you hear from our friends at Tripwire Interactive. Roll that beautiful footage.
세가? 앰플리튜드? 이거 휴먼카인드잖아.
Have what it takes. You'll be back here too scared to try
아닌데? 우주인데?
because the dungeon will turn you into lunch meat. Unless you're way tougher than you look. We got the guns,
뭐지?
turrets, the
신작인가?
but what you really need is guts and skills. Grab your posse and say your prayers.
뭔가 시뮬레이션. 엔들리스 던전 제작진 신작인가 보다.
To die. To give your feedback.
신작? 맞지? 오, 잘 만들었다.
What it takes.
신작 맞네. 아니야? 뭐지? 원래 엔들리스 던전이 저랬나? 저렇게 다이나믹 안 했던 것 같은데. F1 매니저. 이거 한글화가만 되면 한번 해보고 싶은데 안 될 게 뻔해서. 약간 중복이 좀 있네요.
Welcome to F1 Manager 2022.
스티브
the
제임스.
ultimate F1 simulation, putting you in the position of team principal at one of the 10 current F1 teams, battling it
좀
out
더
for a
설명이
chance to be
나온다.
the next world champion. Choose your team and drive every decision that leads to you making your mark on the grid and hopefully the podium. Winning championships
이것도
depends on
매년
your
나올라나?
ability to make the right calls
그러겠죠?
on and off the track. During races, you'll mastermind strategy, plan tire stints for each driver, and make changes on the fly when necessary.
어쨌든 3대
If you
스포츠가
drive call-outs, such as
F1,
instructing them to
테니스,
attack or defend, manage their
축구
tire
이렇게
wear and
아니었나?
battery usage, or even to avoid battling a teammate, all while reacting to dynamic events like race incidents,
매니아층 마음만 사로잡으면 매년 꿀빨 수 있는데 팬처럼. 저 같은 호구를 많이 만들 수 있어요.
Hire best-in-class staff to work across your aerodynamics and engineering teams and put them to the task to develop your car and prepare new parts for upcoming races. Optimize your finances to keep the board happy, improve and maintain your facilities, and scout talent from F2 and
오,
F3
능력치.
to try and ensure future success. They say knowledge is power, and keeping a close eye on a plethora of
능력치를
realistic
찍을 수가
data
있네,
will
이건.
help give you the edge.
이건 좀
From the
아쉽다.
finer details of how car
그냥
parts
자기
affect
멋대로
overall
커야지
performance,
그거
to attract
딱
expected grid
조종하는
level,
맛이 있는
to the
건데.
condition of your wind tunnel. How you analyze the data and choose to spend your resources will make or
그러니까
break
아예
your
조정을
progress.
못하는 거는 문제가 되는데 좀 간접적으로 저거를 성장시키는
Even down to
방식으로 해야지.
real-world team radio messages between drivers and engineers, and race commentary from David Croft and Karun Chandok. While broadcast-style presentation showcases 2022's striking new car design with real trackside and onboard camera angles. The sleek management menus and intuitive controls will drive the immersive F1 fantasy home as you plan and execute the perfect strategy in F1 Manager 2022. Pre-order the digital version now for early access from August 25th.
8월 25일. 헷갈려.
Hey everyone, after 1 year of Chivalry 2,
Chivalry
we've more
2?
than doubled the size of the game,
뭐
and now
업데이트
we're
하나?
excited to bring even more knights onto the
아니면
battlefield.
공식
Because today, right
아직
now,
얼리
Chivalry 2 is
액세스죠?
out on Steam
아닌가?
with
공식
crossplay between
출시했나?
all platforms. This is our
아,
biggest update to the game yet,
에픽 독점
and it brings
풀린다는 것
players to an
같다.
all-new desert theater of war, and best of all, brings us horses into Chivalry 2 in mounted combat. We want to thank our community for making the game the success that it's been so far, and if you haven't played it yet,
사실
now's
요런
the best time to check
게임은
out Chivalry 2.
시벌리만한 게
Take a look
없기는
at our
해요.
new trailer that shows off the new update and its Nosian invasion.
오, 뭐야 십자군이야?
This rebellion is at an end. The Agathians flee to their stronghold in the north. This land is mine. Now Denocia rises from the south. Kill them all! Throw the dogs back into the
야
desert.
배경이 다르니까 훨씬 재밌어 보인다. 이 진영마다 막 병종 같은 것도 다르고 이러면 재밌겠는데.
If the wall falls,
오,
we must retaliate.
저 대포. 무식한 대포.
Ready the ships.
뭐야, 해상전도 있어?
Denocia remains safe from my fury. No more.
와, 끝내준다.
They dare
오, 야 말도 공격해. 너무 좋아.
their city.
오고 환경 무너지고.
Their people will bleed. Their knowledge will burn. My reign will never end.
확장팩 DLC 나온 거네. DLC.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil from Sweet Bandits, live from Quebec City. Really glad to be here today for the PC gaming show. We'll be showing the first trailer for our game, Deceive Inc. It's a multiplayer competitive spy game where you get to use social stealth, high-tech gadgets, and powerful spy abilities
뭐야?
to try and get the upper hand. We've had the chance of working with Tripwire Presents on the project, so this is only the beginning. Please follow us on social media at Play Deceiving to learn more. We'll be releasing the game in early 2023 on PC, Xbox Series S and X, and PS5. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the trailer.
Good afternoon, agents. Your mission is simple. Infiltrate the frozen coral underwater
이것도 뭐
hotel
잠입
and
게임인
retrieve
것
the
같은데.
blueprint of a powerful weapon. As you know, Deceive Inc.'s company policy is to deploy multiple agents to ensure the mission's success. But only one will get the paycheck. Do whatever it takes, agent, and be careful out there.
Try your best. Let's see if it's enough.
오,
Ka-ching! Oh, come on. They can't be this fast.
느낌은 약간 그 뭐야 아케인 느낌이 나는데 좀 게임이.
They're really not gonna make it easy for me.
아케인사가 이런 게임들 잘 만들었거든요.
Is that it? Right on target.
근데 퀄리티는 좀 인디 퀄리티긴 하다. 그래도 재미는 있어 보이는데.
Target acquired. Moving to rendezvous point. All done. Really? Mission complete.
어쨌든 스파이물 Deceive INC 내년에 나오네요.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever have a reoccurring dream that you really wish would come true? I mean, mine personally involves
벌써
a
새벽
flight of
5시라 좀
unicorns
졸리긴
and a
하네요.
Valkyrie army on Pegasuses, but you know yours may be different. But you know somehow I doubt it. This year we've partnered with the PC builders at iBuyPower to bring a
이거는
very
광고네.
different dream to life. My dream PC room. Unfortunately, there's bad news for me. I don't get to keep it. But very good news for one of you. We're going to be giving
저는 저
entire
PC에 저
contents of this
LED
room
별로
away to a lucky
선호하지
winner
않아가지고.
watching the show. So let's dive in and see what's up for grabs. The beating heart of any PC gaming dream room is, of course, the rig, so let's start there. As you can see, the mad geniuses at iBuyPower have built an absolute doozy. The first thing you'll notice is that height Y60 case with its wraparound tempered glass panels.
야,
This thing
케이스
is
큰 거
built
봐.
from the ground up to display
근데
the
큰
sickest
케이스가
piece of
편하긴
tech you
하더라고요.
can squeeze into a desktop machine. And let's face it, if you've managed to bag a serious graphics card in these dry times, you owe it to the silicon
저거
gods to show
순행이야?
it off properly. Okay, the case and lighting looks dope, but for this to be a true dream PC, we need more than just state-of-the-art drip. Luckily, the
순행은
substance
아닌 것
matches the
같은데.
style. So let's check out the guts of
모르겠다.
our dream PC, and trust me, there's plenty of power crammed in. The big
순행은
question,
어디
though, is
써봤어야
what
알지.
pixel pusher iBuyPower has used, and you won't be disappointed with an overclocked RTX 3090 from Gigabyte, right? This
3090.
24GB monster of a GPU packs the cooling to stay
엄청
chill and the
비싸겠다.
power to smash through any game you throw at it. The graphics card is the rig's MVP, but any superstar needs some dope backup. And the fastest
보니까 한
gaming
300은
CPU
하겠어요.
around, the Intel
와,
5.5 GHz
300
Core
넘겠는데.
i9 12900KS with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM and 2 terabytes of seriously fast SSD storage, both from ADATA, makes up the perfect support team. Whew, that is a whole lot of PC. But Mika, you may greedily wonder, what about the peripherals? Well, animal lovers, we got you covered. Because the Height Eclipse wireless headset comes in plush vegan leather trim with a
헤드셋도 같이
30-hour
주는 거야?
battery life and competition
근데
grade 2.4
헤드셋은
gigahertz
저런 거는
connection.
좀 별로
And you noisy typers are going to want the clicky-clacky
솔직히 말해서
mechanical keyboard that
그렇게
comes with it.
퀄리티가 좋지가
I'm
않던데.
sorry, what was that? RGB? Well,
게이밍
of
헤드셋
course.
같은
The
것들.
keyboard and mouse both light up like Atlantic City on a Saturday night.
로카
And yeah, you can turn
마우스인가?
it off so you can actually get some sleep. You can find out more about this gear feature today over at
아닌가? 저쪽 마크가 그냥
iBuyPower.com,
저건가?
but I know what you
로카
really
비슷하네.
the info on how to win this
마크
beastly setup. So here are the details.
Thanks, Mika. Yes, folks, it couldn't be easier to enter our Dream PC giveaway. For your chance, just head over to pcgamer.com/dreampc and follow the simple instructions. There, you'll find a complete breakdown of the price.
근데 뭐 곧 4,000번대도 나온다 그래가지고 지금 사긴 좀 메리트가 있는 PC는 아닐 것 같아.
That is right. Just head over to pcgamer.com/dreampc for your chance to win. But for now, let's get back to the game.
광고가 근데 좀 많이 길다.
Interactive and A44 Games comes Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, an action RPG from the team behind Ashen, where gods and guns collide.
요번엔 뭘까?
When the gods first emerged from
아, 이거 아까 봤던 그거다.
we saw them as saviors.
아까 엑스박스 쇼케이스에 나왔었죠?
They unleashed a pestilence on our world. No one yet knows if you can kill a god. I, for one, intend to find out.
이거 재밌어 보이던데? 이거 아까 그 뭐였지? 플린트락이었지? 이게 몬스터 디자인 같은 거가 상당히 괜찮아 보이고 액션도 나쁘지가 않거든요. 재밌을 것 같아 난. 그래픽 퀄리티도 좋고 스킬은 조금 그렇게 많은 것 같진 않은데 뭐 액션이 많을 필요는 없긴 해. 그냥 기본적으로 있는 것들만 잘 뽑혔으면. 오. 일단 플린트락 소총이 느낌 있어. 저는 이거도 기대가 되거든요. 뭔가 새로운 좋은 프랜차이즈로 거듭이 나면 좋겠는데.
Hey PC Gaming Show, I'm Derek Bradley, the CEO of A44 Games and creative director of
A44 게임즈는 처음 듣는 데인데 신생 개발사인 것 같은데? 아닌가?
And so,
내가
as
모르는
humanity,
건가?
you now have the power of black powder and bombs and flintlock rifles to finally overthrow the gods and take the world back. You'll play as Nor, a Blackstream sapper, one of the elite explosives experts of the coalition forces. Nor herself has a personal
칼이
vendetta
아니고
against the
도끼라는
gods and
것도
stop at nothing
인상적이야.
to get her revenge. But you won't be going it alone. Where Nor brings firepower, her fox-like companion Enki brings magic to the battlefield. You will have to master a combination of axe combat and gunplay, while your companion Enki uses his magical powers to disrupt enemies. We can't wait to show you more of Flintlock before it's released next year. Head over to our socials for more info, and don't forget to wishlist now on Steam and Epic Game Store. Have a great show.
Coming up next, a mysterious new sci-fi game from 11-Bit
Compass.
Studios, the creators of This War of Mine. Hear all about it in our exclusive interview. We'll also show you what's next for Outriders from Square Enix and People Can Fly. Plus, if you look back on high school and think, you know, those
나오네.
4 years would have been
데몬
better if I was
스쿨?
fighting
오, 야,
literal
이거
demons,
재밌겠다.
you're definitely going to want to study up on our next world exclusive independent
저거
game inspired
약간
by the
취향적일
Persona
것 같은데?
series. Choke your health potions now because there is so much more PC gaming show coming your way. Before we go, the folks at Compass Data Centers have a little quiz for you. How much higher is 5G's data capacity compared to current 4G
광고가
networks?
진짜 많긴 많다.
Scan this QR code and answer the question for a chance to win $500 worth of stuff from Razer, or visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com. Okay, now back to the PC gaming show.
Ready to game the system? Meet Mana. You slay. You achieve. You win. So should your bank account. Because your power shouldn't stop when the game does. Mana is the
광고는
best gaming rewards debit card where you can earn perks and points
넘어가죠.
by paying and playing and get rewarded
저
with
만화
the
저
things you
카드는 저
actually
뭐야
want.
첫날 그 서머 게임 페스트에도 광고 넣더니 게이머들을 많이
Why pay any
공략하려나
other way?
보다.
Pay with Mana.
이름부터 만화인데.
Mana. Game the system.
So I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. It's time to talk about The Alters, the brand new game from 11-bit Studios.
11비트 스튜디오의 신작이라네요. 디스 오브 워 오브 마인, 프로스트 펑크 둘 다 명작이죠. 몰타 저것도 꽤 괜찮았어요.
In a survival story that is guaranteed to give you an existential crisis in a good way. This is a really big moment for this year's show. I can't wait. Let's take a look.
요거 좀 기대된다. 11비트 스튜디오가 게임을 잘 뽑아서 신작이라니까 좀 기대가 되네. 오 뭐야 분위기. 플레이 영상까지는 안 나오려는 건가? 보니까 트레일러 그냥 저것만 나오는 것 같은데? 근데 이런 트레일러도 좋지만 어쨌든 플레이 영상이 제일 확실한데. 뭐야 뭐야 자기야? 아닌가? 뭐지? 어쨌든 우주가 좀 배경인 것 같긴 하거든요. 오 이건 진짜 자기잖아. 다 자기 자신들인 것 같은데? 저 시체까지. 얼터스? 감이 하나도 안 잡히긴 하거든요. 다중인격 같은 건가? 소재가?
Joining us now to talk about what we just saw all the way from Poland is Tomasz Kasilewicz of 11-bit Studios. Welcome to the PC Gaming Show, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack there. We got clones, we got this huge wheel. Tell us, what did we just see?
Well, first of all, these guys were not exactly the clones. We saw Jan, our main character, who's traveling with a group of the Alters, who are the alternative versions of the same person. And they are going through this distant alien planet in their mobile base, which was the wheel you saw at the end.
So what's the player's goal as they're progressing through the story?
So you are a space builder stranded on this distant planet, and your goal is to survive and find a way back home. But the thing is, in order to do so, you need to create those alters, as each one of them have different set of skills and character traits. So these are things necessary for your survival and finding a way back home.
So from the trailer, totally this could be a horror, a thriller, a mystery. What should players expect?
Actually, there are bits of everything you mentioned. Like, there is this mystery as we're looking deep into the soul of the character. But what you find there can also
약간 생존에서 결국 집으로 돌아가는 게 목적이라고 하는데
psychological horror and drama. But then on top of it, we have this quite thick layer of surreality.
약간 정착하고 있는 저기 저 얼터라는 곳? 저기를 좀 건설하는 그런 느낌도 있는 것 같고.
alternative version of your very self.
Now there's a quote that you shared with me earlier that man cannot remake
약간 자기 자신들이랑 뭔가 상호작용해서 뭐 스킬도 찍고 그래서 생존해야 된다는데.
It relates directly to the main theme of our game. We as people, we are shaping ourselves every single day with every single decision that we are making. This process, the whole process of becoming who we are, it can be quite painful at times. But in our game, Jan, the main character, he has this unique possibility of not only shaping himself, but also reshaping himself numerous times with every single altar that he is creating.
Do you see this as more of a classic sci-fi story, something like a Ray Bradbury work, or is it something more contemporary?
Well, it is very classic sci-fi in a way that we are taking a relatable topic and we are using the sci-fi theme, we are using the sci-fi setting to look at it through the magnifying lenses. But then when we're choosing the tools, this is a very contemporary game and we're taking advantage of what video games are as a medium. So we're using tools like systematic design and non-linearity in order to put the players in the middle of the experience and in the end allow them to create their own
뭔가
stories.
플레이 영상이나 그런 걸 봐야지 알 것 같은데요. 약간 스토리 중심이긴 한 것 같아요, 게임이 보니까.
Narrative or themes or even just influence that those games had on this one.
Well, The Altars is purely 100% our game, 11-bit Studios game, and it's created in line with our meaningful entertainment philosophy. So it's a game we hope that it will make you think even after you stop playing it. This War of Mine was this first huge milestone. It paved the way for all the future titles. And with Frostpunk, it was taken to another level with the strong focus on the emergent narrative. And now with The Altars, we want to follow that path, but we also really want to push the boundaries even further and expand on how we approach meaningful topics inside the design of our games.
Thanks so much again to Tomasz and the whole team at 11-bit Studios for joining us this year. And while I try to find enough Rapidium to make it through day 1 to 8, let's head on over to Mika Burton and keep things rolling like a massive space station.
Thanks, Day9. Honestly, I need to look into getting myself cloned so I can make time to play all of these awesome games we've seen so far. But I'm also legitimately worried about having to eventually fight my clone in single hand-to-hand combat when they steal my life, making me wonder if I was the clone all along. Is it really worth it for video games? Yeah, no, it's totally worth it for video games. Anyway, that's a problem for future Mika. Present Mika is much more interested in what you all have been saying about the show so far. So keep letting us know your thoughts.
중간에 흐름이 좀 많이 끊기긴 한다.
Show on all platforms. Now, let's get back to the real reason all here. Cloning. I mean video games. Video games.
이거 아웃라이더스잖아. 조금씩 겹치는 게 있네. 일라오이야? 문어 여잔데? 이거 그거 아니야? 포션 크래프트. 이거 재밌는데 이 게임 되게 잘 만들었어요. 특히 저 포션 만드는 저거 진짜 아이디어 좋은 것 같아. 흥정도 잘 만들었고, 진짜 게임적으로 고민한 건지 센스가 있는 건지 모르겠는데 되게 잘 만들었어. 근데 그래도 좀 약간 오래 하면 지치는 부분이 있다. 얼리 액세스가 가을에 끝난다네요. 미리 구매해놔야겠다.
Master alchemist, but when I do it, I get a sternly worded letter from my landlord about how my cauldron violates our lease agreement. Whatever, it's his loss. But more importantly, folks, we promise you the maximum amount of games humanly possible, and we aim to deliver quite literally.
오 귀여워. 두더지? 아 이거 그거 아니야? 애니멀 그 뭐야 배틀로얄? 애니멀 로얄 시즌 4가 나온다네. 이거 뭐야? 아. 솔직히 차만 보면 아웃런 생각났거든요. 이것도 덱빌딩이네. 재밌을지는 모르겠다 개인적으로. 니트로키드. 이거 뭐지? 턴제인데? 아이스버그?
Before your eyes lies the Celestial Islands, a world of peace above the clouds, protected by 4 great houses.
동양풍이야? 이것도 카드 기반이네. 마호 켄시? 마법. 마호는 마법이고 켄시는 뭐야? 켄은 검일 테고 시는 뭐지? 검사? 켄시 검사? 마법 검사? 이것도 뭐지? 타이달 테러.
These security and defense innovations allow you to shrink any problem down to size. We surge forward.
이건 좀 제 취향은 아닌 것 같아요.
But we refuse to let these victories go to our heads. We are the future.
아, 킬링 플로어 2구나. 근데 제 취향은 아니에요.
And now it's time to give you an exclusive briefing on what's next for one of PC gaming's titans of modding, simulation, and scale. Arma 4.
아르마 4?
Developer Bohemia Interactive kicked things
야,
off by
아르마가
releasing
신작이 드디어
Arma
나오는구나.
Reforger on Steam in early access. This
아르마
playable prototype
리포저?
will be a foundation for Arma 4. And with it playable on Steam now, we have a ton of questions about the future of Arma. I mean, after all, this is the series that helped birth the survival genre through DayZ. Oh, and also this other little niche genre you may have heard of called Battle Royale to help us peer into the future for this project. We've got none other than Bohemia Interactive. Thank you so much for joining us. So as of right now, Arma Reforger has been out for about a month. What is it that you've been learning or seeing from players?
At first, we've learned that players like Reforger a lot and they appreciate the work we've put into it. We also realized they like modding a lot and they reviewed this as
저분들이 빌덕들이신가?
quality of our games.
근데 보통 덕력이 아니고선 만들 수 없는 게임이긴 해, 아르마가.
Both our community and the new players who immediately started flooding internet with videos, playthroughs, and praise of our new technology. So we are very glad that the reception was so good.
So there's no doubt players who have been longtime fans of the franchise stepping into Arma Reforger, and I'm curious, what were some of the big challenges of rebuilding that specific Arma feel from the ground up in this brand new engine?
Well, it's a very tricky subject because even internally it's an ongoing kind of fight. So I'm myself very much on the very purist side of things. So no HUD, no save games, no superficial helpers, and this fight can get very intense even in-house. So I'm the real Arma purist, and I'm on this for 25 years now, so I will keep fighting. But
근데
obviously this is part of the
뭔가
fun.
저 세 명 보기만
There's
해도
always
동력이
never
흘러
ending
넘칠 것 같은
battle. I
느낌이죠.
think 2 years ago we really struggled to keep
센터보다 왼쪽 오른쪽이
preserve
좀
our own standards. So do it our own way rather than
진짜 매니아
replicating what
느낌이
may be
나는데 좀
normal in other games,
뭔가
because
그
our goal
풍기는
is not to
오라가
make
있어.
the same game as all other games. So our goal is to remain unique.
I'm curious if you can
그래픽
speak to what
좋다.
the main goals of Reforger is, because it's a little unusual compared to other releases. I mean, for instance, how much content should a player expect if, say, they've been playing Arma 3 for years?
Our goals were, of course, to restart the series from technological standpoint, really make room for some new achievements, utilize the technology which is state of the art, both in terms of how
이게
it looks like,
리포저야?
how it's controlled, how it can be modded.
It's important to understand it may look as a kind of normal game on the surface, but there is a big system behind it. So just the tool suite is a massive tool suite, never tested by a large public. So it's a premiere of a tool suite, and these tools are being built for nearly 5 years now. So we really need users to start using them to keep improving and continue building it.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have one quick question from the Arma fans. Has Russia's invasion of Ukraine impacted your approach to Arma 4 and Arma Reforger, a game that depicts the Cold War?
Well, yes, because it's extremely close to us. We even live in a way very nearby, so definitely. On the other hand, we started work on this many years ago, so the direction was set before. But we always approach conflicts and armed conflicts with a great level of respect. We're still at the beginning, but we definitely would like to continue in our exploring this serious theme.
Arma, as I see it, has always been a bit more of a anti-war game. It's an entertainment product. That's fair thing to admit. On the other hand, given the topic, given our, let's say, maturity and long time we've spent on it, and our ambition to portray it as a whole very complex and gritty thing, I would like us to contribute by not just entertaining people, but also educating them on the subject. This was the whole point of starting the cooperation with the International Committee of the Red Cross, and I believe we have great potential, big responsibility in this era, and a very important chance to contribute at least a little
워낙
bit to
자기들만의 아이덴티티를 구축해 놓은 게임이라서 신작도 인기가 많을 것 같아요. 근데 만약 좀 잘 안 나왔으면 사람들이 쫄로 안 넘어가고 그냥 아르마3 계속 할 수도 있고. 잘 만들지 않았을까? 잘 만들었을 것 같은데.
It has so many variables, but the beauty now is that much more of it is user accessible, unlike the previous games. So people can easily digest how this is constructed in our workbench tools. So unlike previously where it was more hard-coded in the C++ engine, so now they can check the data of every single element of the game and go much deeper than in previous games. So this will be super exciting.
Now, I wanted to ask a little bit about performance, because anyone who's played Arma knows that it can get really challenging to get a good frame rate in those massive multiplayer matches. So I'm curious, what expectations should players have about performance leading into Arma 4?
Arma 3 was built on foundations laid down in times of single core and no GPUs basically, so this time much more computations and intensive
옛날 게임들의 문제점이죠. 싱글 GPU만 쓰고.
Again, we are in the beginning and we know that there are problems, there are difficulties, but we are
저 오른쪽 분이 그 약간 기술 책임자인가 보나.
community feedback and even our
약간 기술적인 얘기 나오니까 말을 하시네.
And yeah, it's about optimization. It's not that much about FPS, but also for like network traffic, for instance. Then you have this massive multiplayer game. It's a huge challenge. Server performance, of course, and all the technical things. So we are moving forward.
Thank you so much again, Bohemia Interactive, for giving us the
싱글 스레드에서 멀티 스레드로 넘어간 거면 좀 크지. 사람들이 다 넘어가겠다.
What's around the corner?
Just around the corner in the PC gaming show, prepare to experience terror ranging from the subaqueous
오,
to
시로
subconscious
게임즈.
with the latest from Shiro Games. Hold on to your butts because front-end development spared no expense on the new Jurassic World Evolution 2
쥬라기
expansion.
월드도
And get your
재밌죠.
crowbars ready for Half-Life
요거
Alyx
알릭스
Levitation,
이거
a
그거다
special project from some
DLC
very talented
DLC라고
modders.
그러나
modders, what would
모드라고
PC
해야 되나
gaming be
유저
without
모드라고
you?
해야 되나
While we're here, quick geography question. Which parts of the world
셋 다
use the most
기대되는데
bandwidth for gaming? Answer this question for the folks at Compass Data Centers and it could win you a $500 Razer gift card. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter.
일단 시로 게임즈는 제가
Shiro
좋아하는
Games
회사라
debuted War Tales at the PC Gaming Show, but the publisher has a lot more than its medieval sandbox RPG on the way. Up next, we'll hear what's up with Shiro's slate of projects, and stick around for the debut of two completely new games, Decarnation and Abyssals.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for the invitation, Mika. I'm James, and I can't wait to show you everything that we've got prepared for you
Community
today. So it's been a crazy couple of months for everyone here at Shiro Games, with Dune Spice Wars marking the most successful release in the history of the company, and it's entirely thanks to all of you. But today, let's look
아
at Dune
그치
Spice Wars
듀운
multiplayer mode.
업데이트 얘기인가
Four
보다
players can go head to head and free for
지금
all.
얼리 액세스거든요
2v2, all work together in co-op against AI opponents. We're introducing new synergy systems between factions that will open a vast number of strategies to help you crush your opponents. Multiplayer will be available in Dune Spice Wars very soon.
아 멀티플레이 업데이트가 된다고?
After 5 years and nearly 3 million units sold, Northgard's story finally continues. In a new chapter set shortly after the events of the first campaign, Ragnarok has decimated the lands of Northgard.
이거는 노스가드 같은데?
Long-standing alliances have been broken.
노스가드 저는 듄보다는 노스가드가 더 좋긴 했어요. 왜냐면 듄 요번에 새로 나와서 해봤는데 약간 듀는 오히려 CNC나 이런 느낌이 좀 강하고 노스가드는 좀 워크래프트 느낌이 강한 느낌? 야 캠페인 확장팩이 추가된다고? 겨울에? 저거 기대된다.
Cooperative is finally coming to our open world tactical RPG. You share food,
오 오픈월드 택티컬 RPG라고?
But you can split up to cover more grounds.
여기서 나오는 RPG? 한번 기대해봐도 되나? 턴제 전투인 것 같긴 하네요, 전투가.
As one wrong move may lead to your group's demise. The co-op update will allow you to play between 2 to 4 players, and it will be available this summer.
War Tales. 응? 저거 원래 있는 게임인가? 내가 모르는 건가 본데.
A new publishing label created by indies for indies, and we are very proud to announce 2 new titles coming from the Shiro Unlimited.
2 new title. 뭐 텔도 원래 있는 게임인가 보다. 나 왜 저걸 몰랐지? 이건 우주네요, 배경이. 우주가 아니라 심해인가?
We used our limited resources to lay the foundations.
그런 거 같다. 바닷속이 배경이네. 우주가 아니라.
This strange new planet.
But soon,
이거는 시티 빌더 느낌 나는데.
When faced against the darkness of the abyss, we found ourselves helpless, lost,
isolated.
Abyssals. Colonize, expand, survive. 이거 아까 약간 재밌어 보인다는 그 게임 같은데? 아닌가? 딴 건가? 아닌 것 같기도 하고. 그건 스토리 위주의 RPG인 것 같긴 하거든요. 어드벤처나? 아, 내 아까 그 재밌어 보인다던 그 게임은 아니다. 야, 요거는 좀 그로테스크하다. 아닌데? 어우.
Thank you very much for sticking with us, everyone. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
You just saw why you were exactly right to be afraid of the ocean in Abyssals. And you confronted your inner demons in the retro dream horror of Decarnation. Next up, how do you rebuild a city in a world set after the collapse of civilization? Let's find out how by taking a look at I Am Future from TinyBuild.
프레임은 좀 아쉽네. 무슨 세계를 재건하는 그런 거라 그랬거든요. 응? 웜지야? 뭔가 눌러버렸다고?
Warning. Hibernation aborted. Your total hibernation time was 6 years, 6 months, 5 days. Welcome to Eden, your new home.
아담이야?
I have no idea where the hell I am. But
뭔
damn,
일이
this
있었던
place is
건지 알 수가 없겠구만. 도시건설 게임인 건가? 뭔가 재건하는 게임이라고 아까 설명한 것 같긴 하거든요. I am future. 내가 미래다. 이것만 보곤 잘 모르겠다. 일단 시티 빌더는 제가 다 좋아해서. 이거 뭐야? 턴제 전략 느낌인데? 퀄리티가 조금 아쉬워 보이는데?
Our great houses seek to obtain the Emperor's favor, cultivating our lands and subjects to improve and enrich the realm, beginning with ourselves, of course.
Dominance can be secured through strength as well as delicacy.
Will you be able to build
완전 테이블 게임 느낌이긴 하다. 발레로 움베르티.
Join the great houses of Calderia.
And now, for these next trailers, it's true. They do move in herds. That was so much. The thought process is simple. God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, man destroys God.
주라기 공원인가
Man
보다.
creates video games to play with dinosaurs. But just be warned that one of these trailers might come as a bit of a shock to the system.
DLC 나오나봐요. DLC. 킹룡, 간룡, 짱룡. 역시 주라기 공원이 근본이긴 해. (14일) 바로 내일이네.
PC gamer. Humans interfacing with computers for their own entertainment. The very notion disgusts me.
Look upon my works, foul creatures,
and weep at its magnificence. It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station. Humanity is on the verge of a new era. I, Shodan, am its new god. Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? You are an insect. You are nothing. I create. I iterate. I fuse flesh and steel into perfection.
뭐지? 액션 게임인 것 같긴 한데 아직까지 뭔가 차별점 같은 게 느껴지는 건 없어요. 그냥 FPS인데. 뭔가 특이한 컨셉이라던가 그런 게 아직 뭐 느껴지진 않네요. 이런 거는 그러면 뭐 약간 잠깐만, 시스템 쇼크? 시스템 쇼크 그 옛날에 그 시스템 쇼크 후속작이야? 리부트 뭐 그런 건가? 뭐 진짜 리턴이래. 잠깐만, 시스템 쇼크가 근데 원래 이런. 와.
In terms of trying to translate the experience of a game from 1994, 3 decades later to now, what doesn't carry over well?
The first thing is the graphics.
30년
Obviously, we did the
진짜
best we
그렇긴 하네.
could, but
야,
it was
저거
pretty
진짜
primitive
충격이긴
back then.
했었는데
And the other
당시에.
one is the user interface.
이게 이렇게
If you look at
달라지니까
when the game opened,
원작자가
the
제작하는 거 맞나
help
보다.
screen that came up, and it filled the entire screen with text. It's just
사실 어드벤처
I don't know
중심이었는데.
how the guys at Nightdive did it. It's amazing. But frankly, as I think back on it, the game actually holds up pretty well. I'm excited to see it
진짜
come
옛날 게임이다.
Just wondering if you think many modern gamers are aware of the impact that System Shock has had in terms of gameplay systems, in terms of narrative structure, on so many
야,
games.
요건 좀 크다.
I'm not
큰
sure
거긴
people see
했다.
the influence, which is a little unfortunate. But I think the rest of the world is going to get a chance now to experience it, and I think they'll see not just that they're having fun playing this game, but also see that other games followed in its footsteps.
Nowadays, we walk around with computers in our pockets. We're worried about the evil of algorithms. How do you think about a character like Shodan in 2022?
Shodan seems far too close to reality to me right now, and let's just hope that she doesn't show
System
up
Shock
as
2.
nasty a form as she did back in 1994.
Well, Warren, I wanted to thank you so much for joining us, and I want to let you know I cannot wait to return back to that world I played and enjoyed so much as a kid. Cheers.
Yeah, I can't wait to
일단
return to that
이름값은
world. I forgot that they-
해주겠죠.
Fans know way more about the game than I
이름값만
do,
해주면
so
재밌을 것
it'll be a new
같은데.
experience for me too.
Thank you so
뭔가
much
근데
again, Warren Spector,
막
for joining us
특이한
to talk
그런
all
느낌이 또 안
things
들긴
System
해서.
Shock. I personally can't wait for the game to come out, though. It might
어쨌든
completely ruin my sleep schedule, but before I
시스템
spiral
쇼크
further,
이름이
here's
걸렸고
some more
원작자가
games to
참여하는 것
cram into your
같으니까
eyeballs.
괜찮지 않을까? The Forge, Deep Inside Titan Controlled Space.
That the rise of Titan would forever be without misery or bloodshed. We seek nothing from the solar system but a lasting amity of reason and justice. To see a war under any pretext would bring ruin to the great works of mankind. Any victory achieved through that deepest expression of human unreason would be as devastating as defeat. We have but a singular purpose: to establish peace and security for all mankind.
The war between Mars and Titan devastated our solar system. Lead the survivors to Demarat, where you will continue
Sci-fi
following
RTS.
storyline campaign in orbit of an
Falling Frontier. RTS라니 좀 특이하네. 이거 슈퍼피플. 이게 넥슨 거였나 스마일게이트 거였나 잘 기억이 안 나. 넥슨 거였지 아마? 엊그제 그 트레일러랑 같은 거 같은데? 게임 화면을 봐야지 이것만으로는 잘 모르겠어요. 파이널 베타가 8월에
Alright, gamers, good
한다고
work.
하네요.
You've made it here to a site of grace, or a bonfire, or a sculptor's idol, or a lamp. Make sure you're staying hydrated, replenish your potions, and most importantly, keep letting us know what games you're excited about using hashtag #PCGamingShow. I mean, personally, I can't wait to play The Altars. Ah, good. Now that we're all rested up, feeling good, it's time to enjoy a slice of that lovely cyberpunk life, courtesy of Nivalis, and experience the investigative horror of immortality, the latest from the mind of Sam Barlow.
이것도 월드 프리미어야? 세계 최초 공개.
I believe we have a short clip here. Do you want to tell us what we're
트리베카 페스티벌. 뭐야? 이거도 인터랙티브 드라마 같은 건가? 뭐지?
Does this work as confession?
Good work.
일단 게임 화면인 것 같긴 하거든요. 계속 뭔가 단서를 찾아가는 느낌인데 느낌은 있다. 느낌은 있어. 재밌을라나? 뭐 결국 스토리죠 이런 거는. 얼마나 흥미로운 스토리인가.
We can take a break. We should take a break. No.
이건 뭐지?
Hey,
게임즈.
boss, time to wake up. We got customers waiting. What do you mean you don't know where to start? Let's clean this place up. Move some
뭐야?
chairs and tables around.
사이버펑크 세계에서 가게 운영하는 그런 게임인가?
The weather gets bad, we can grow some veg in the greenhouse. Once we start making real money, well, then you can rent that fancy new apartment in Midtown. So make friends, make enemies. Give customers a route, just turn on the old charm. Or water down their drinks. I'm not your conscience. This is a world to explore. To make
낚시도 있어?
your stories.
약간 생활 시뮬레이션 그런 게임인 것 같은데? 사이버펑크?
Dream big enough. Maybe you'll find out. Maybe you will. Welcome to Nivalis.
니발리스?
Hi, I'm Marco. And I'm Roman. At Ironlands, we are big fans of cyberpunk fiction and games, but we have our own ideas of what a cyberpunk world can be. This is the game in which you manage your restaurant, bar or nightclub, take care of your staff, make deals, farm, and experience the stories of the people you meet. Or maybe you just want to take
레스토랑 운영하면서 생활하는 그런 게임인가 본데?
Nivalis primarily uses voxel art for the environments. We spend lots of time creating a unique atmosphere with high levels of detail and dynamic elements. We are excited about the cyberpunk world we're making, and we can't wait to see the choices you'll make and how you'll choose to live your life when you come visit us in Nivalis. You can wishlist Nivalis now on Steam and the Epic Game Store.
Mana is the gaming rewards debit card that puts the power back in the hands of players. So with every quest you complete and every purchase you make, you're earning for the rewards you actually want. We make it easy for you to set up and start. Just sync your favorite games to your Mana account and start earning real-life rewards the next time you play. So why pay any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with power. Mana. Game the system.
Get ready to overclock your eyeballs because this next trailer is coming in hotter than my computer with 3 Chrome tabs open.
이것도 월드 프리미엄인가 보네. 네크로소프트. 아, 요거 아까 그 재밌어 보인다던 그거다. 드디어 왔네. 상당히 독특하거든요. 어우, 시리가 말을 거네. 깜짝 놀랐어. SRPG인데? 이렇게 보니까 별로 재미없어 보이기도 하고. 조금 애매해 보인다 이렇게 보니까. 이런 느낌은 좋은데 말이지. 오. 데몬스쿨.
You just saw Demon School from Welsh developer Isbrid Games, and now it's time to take a bit of a spooky transition. If you're at home, turn on all the lights in the room, make sure the salt circle is unbroken, and check to see that your door is properly painted with sacrificial lamb's blood, because things are about to get certifiably terrifying. Let's look at the H.R. Giger-inspired biopunk horror, Scorn.
아, 스콘이네, 스콘. 아까 봤죠?
A grisly nightmare of macabre perception. Greetings. I'm your host, Doug Bradley, and I invite you to join me as we explore Scorn's mesmerizing labyrinth of odd forms and somber tapestries. You awake in the middle of a desolate hellscape filled with biomechanical contraptions, part flesh, part machine. An industrial civilization now lying in decay and ruin. A hidden fauna sleeps within the underbelly of the world, wanting nothing more than to be left undisturbed. Scorn has been carefully crafted with great attention to detail. Everything is focused on building a specific atmosphere. From a unique organic ecosystem to an unsettling soundscape created by Ethek and Lustmord. Scorn has no dialogue, so most of the storytelling comes from the environment, discovering the ever-present symbiotic relationships and how things are connected equips you with the tools to progress.
확실히 제 취향 게임은 아니에요.
Shooting within the game, Scorn is not a shooter. Every encounter must be carefully considered. A wrong
아까보다 뭔가 영상 내용이 좀 많은데?
deadly. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the twisted world of Scorn. The team at Ebb Software can't wait for you to uncover the secrets of this unique world as you experience Scorn firsthand. This
분위기는 진짜 장난 아니긴 하다.
Are you prepared to unravel your inner self within Scorn's world of horror?
좀 더 플레이 영상이 아까보다 좀 많은 것 같은데.
Now, while I've been delightedly playing Dune Spice Wars, harvesting melange, and trying to figure out how to pronounce Kwisatz Haderach, it doesn't matter. I'm equally ready to turn hordes of Tyranids into a Jackson Pollock painting in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. In this brutal third-person shooter, you once again step into the oversized power armor of Titus, an elite Primaris Space Marine in a galaxy immersed in a never-ending war. To take us further inside the grimdark, I am joined by Tim Willits and Oliver Hollis, the creative director, on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Now, Tim, I want to start with you. You previously worked at id Software on Doom. How would you say the Space Marine compares to Doom Guy?
That is a good question. I bet many people did not know that the original Doom Guy was actually a Space Marine, inspired by an even older Space Marine, which is the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. So, you know, it's really exciting
왜 둠 얘기가 나오는
to
거지?
work on Space Marine 2, you know, because it's a great franchise, and I know that it's inspired so many other video games throughout the last 25, 30 years.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so much lore to sift through. And I think this brings us to talk a little bit about
이것도 그때 영상 진짜 재밌어 보이긴 했는데 게임. 뭐 트레일러 영상이라 가지고 모르긴 하는데 느낌이 끝내주긴 했어. 저걸로 다 썰어버리잖아.
Space Marine is a brainchild of the Emperor, the kind of leader of this of humanity in the grim dark future. He saw the dangers that the universe presented, and he created a super soldier from his own DNA. And each of these different factions, these different chapters, have different genetic traits of the Emperor. But what makes the Primaris different is that a guy named Belisarius Cawl, the Emperor's kind of chief scientist, went back, did some digging in the old data, and found a way to
다
enhance
썰어버리는 게 둠이랑 비슷하다고 약간 그쪽에서 컨셉을 따왔다는 건가?
new kind of bio implants in their body. So now these guys are 2.5 meter tall monsters capable of destroying anything in their path.
It's reminding me of the 1,000 times I have rewatched the Astartes animation.
That's amazing.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting that we now get to be in that position to play that kind of character. And in the trailer, we saw a lot of Tyranids. Are they the main enemy that you're going to be against? And if so, what makes them such a
그러니까 트레일러가 너무 잘
In this
뽑혔어 이거.
particular game, the Tyranids are the main focus, and what makes them compelling is that they are extragalactic locust-like creatures. They've come in from goodness knows where. They spread like wildfire. They devour everything in their path, and they leave nothing in their wake.
So one of the great things about the Tyranids is they come in the thousands. And our proprietary engine, the Saber Swarm engine, can deliver these epic battles. Now we will have thousands of Tyranids, and you will rip and tear through them
이거
all.
어떻게 보면은 약간 워해머 무쌍 아니야 워해머
Older
무쌍?
games couldn't even hope to do. And you're talking a little bit about combat. I know that some of the previous entries were more melee focused. What's the combat like in Space Marine 2?
So the combat in Space Marine 2 is a mix of in-your-face melee combat along with some really cool over-the-top weapons. So you know, we looked at, you know, the original Space Marine game where it had a lot of this push-forward combat, which has inspired many other video games, but that never stop, never take cover combat is integral to Space Marine 2, along with, you know, these really cool, powerful weapons. So you're either tearing
재밌어 보인다
up
확실히.
enemies in front of you, or you're blowing them away from the back of the battlefield. It's the best of both worlds.
I mean, that sounds so terrific. And I mean, I know you guys are huge fans of the 40K lore, so I'm curious about, in working on this project, what's been the most fun seeing come together, and what's Saber Interactive focusing on right now?
Right at the beginning of the project, Tim and I went to the Warhammer Museum, which was an incredible experience. And you go around all these cabinets where these
워해머
incredible
박물관
miniatures that
있어?
have been painted by these masters are arranged in these dioramas. You find yourself kind of crouching down and looking into the ranks of Space Marines that are facing Tyranids or Orcs or whatever. And something that Tim and I said at that moment was, we need to make this come alive. I don't want to look at this, I want to be inside this. I want to be gunning down Tyranids by the thousands. And so seeing that actually happen and come alive has been thrilling.
Am I going to feel like the characters in the Astartes animation? Because if so, then I'm buying the game immediately.
Even more so, when you're wielding one of those massive weapons and you're faced with 1,000 Tyranids who all want to eat you alive, and you're just letting rip, and you can see shell casings bursting out of these massive weapons one after another. The sound, the gameplay, the way it feels is all designed to make you feel like the most powerful warrior in the universe.
Well, perfect. That answers everything. Thank you so much, Tim and
기대된다,
Oliver
이거.
from Saber Interactive for joining us. I can't
이거는 근데
wait.
지난번에 그때 봤을 때부터 애초에 기대작이었어가지고
PS5, Xbox Series X and S soon. Now next, we have a few more surprises for you up the sleeves of our proverbial power armor. First, Replicant D6's homage to the golden days, or should I say, golden eyes of 90s console shooters, and an atmospheric sci-fi adventure on the Red Planet from Frontier Developments and Kyoken Interactive. Let's take a look.
뭐야 이건? 완전 옛날 게임 같은데? 이거 딱 PS1 보다는 조금 나은가? 사실 느낌은 플스1 게임 느낌인데 조금 더 미려한? 아, 그 다음에 해상도 올라간 PS1 게임 딱 그 느낌인데. 아, 캠페인 제작도 있어?
Sarah? Ryan?
요건 뭐야?
This is Kathy. Can you hear me?
화성 느낌인데?
Please come in.
Mission Opera has only one objective.
확실히 외국 애들이 우주를 참 좋아하긴 해.
Technology back home.
Here we go, Opera Team. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I need to know that when we get there, you'll make the right decisions.
이거도 때깔은 좋네.
We can do this.
재밌을지는 뭐 나와봐야 아는 거지.
On Mars.
아, 이게 딜리버 어스 마스구나. 딜리버 어스 문이 재밌어가지고 이것도 좀 기대해볼만 할 것 같아요.
Hi, my name's Elise Chappell, and I play Kathy Johansson in the
방금 그
out-of-this-world
캐릭터
sci-fi
아니야?
epic Deliver Us Mars.
배우인가
Join
보다.
Kathy and the crew of the Zephyr on an unmissable adventure as they journey to the Red Planet to recover technology vital to the survival of Earth and humankind. Deliver Us Mars is set to land on September 27th and is available to pre-order now on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Games Store.
Stay a while and listen. To this list of games still to come, the team behind
아,
Half-Life
이거
Alyx
알릭스
Reputation
그
will put
뭐야
their mod where their
유저
mouth
모드라
is,
그랬나?
and then it's Paradox time. Not as in us creating
그리고
an
드디어
actual
빅토리아
time
3가
paradox.
오네요.
We're going to show you the latest from Victoria 3. Plus, you can literally scare your entire butt off
제가 기다리는
with the creeping
빅토리아
horror of
3
Greenwood. All this
빨리
and more
나와라.
in just a moment. But first, a final pop quiz for all you Valorant, CS:GO, and League of Legends players. How much has
아, 근데
esports
생각보다 길게
revenue
한다.
increased since
지금 한 1시간 반 다 돼가거든요.
Compass Data Centers wants to
2시간
hear your
채울라나?
guess, and you can scan this QR code on the screen for a chance to win a $500 Razer gift card. Visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com to enter. Alright, and now, back to the show.
Up next, we're going to take a look at Stormgate, the highly anticipated real-time strategy game from Frost Giant. Then our resident RTS addict is going to sit down with some of the game developers to ask the hard-hitting questions like, when can we play this already?
이게 중간중간에 인터뷰 같은 게 많아가지고 아, 이거 그거다. 스타크래프트 2랑 워크래프트 3 개발진들이 나와가지고 만든 거라고 하긴 하거든요.
2 years ago, our team assembled with a shared vision to build a brand new real-time strategy game. Together, we've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy. Today, we are so excited to share a first glimpse of Stormgate, an exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you. Stormgate takes place in an all-new post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years in Earth's future.
개발진이 그러면은 게임 자체는 재미는 없진 않을 것 같은데 약간 기획적인 면이라고 해야 되나? 배경 같은 게 조금 아쉬운 느낌은 들긴 해요. 진짜 지난번에 그때 트레일러 나왔을 때 스타크래프트 고스트로 시작해가지고 잘 봐. 갑자기 디아블로가 나오더니 마지막에는 띠바. 그나마 트레일러 느낌으로는 RTS라고 유추도 못하는 느낌이었어. 근데 막상 이 플레이 때깔은 좀 괜찮아 보이긴 하거든요.
Stormgate will be free to play.
뭐야, free to play야?
And there will be no NFTs. Beta testing starts next year.
No
and
NFT.
You can sign up now to reserve your place in line at playstormgate.com.
모르겠어요, 잘. 저는.
You might happen to know that I'm a huge fan of real-time strategy games. StarCraft is my favorite game. I played it for 25 years. I still play it. And that's why I am so thrilled today to be talking to Frost Giant Studios. They're a group of amazing developers who have worked on literally my favorite games of all time. And we're here to talk about their
개발진들 실력은 있는데 좀 기획적인 면에서 좀 에러가 좀 있지 않나 그런 생각은 좀 드는 게임인데.
Is the CEO and production director at Frost Giant, Tim Morton. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I want to know about the world. I want to know about the game. Tell us, what is Stormgate?
All right, this is our first game as a new studio, and it is classic real-time strategy, but designed to be more social. We build the game in a universe that ties
소셜
everything
RTS라는 게
together,
도대체
but
어떤
provide different
걸까?
kinds of experiences for players who like different kinds of gameplay. So we've got cooperative campaign mode, also play open-ended co-op,
campaign,
but if you're somebody who really enjoys competition, we've got 1 versus 1 high skill competitive, and
때깔은
those
좋아,
are
플레이
very
때깔은.
different ways to play in some ways, but they're also all unified by the universe, by the races.
그래서 약간 적들이 왜 저런 디아블로 같은 적들이 나와야 되는지 잘
a little bit
모르겠고.
about that core gameplay, because obviously in all these modes you're going to be collecting money, building bases, building units, and so on. And I know that for you, the game feeling really good and really smooth to play is super important. Now, obviously, I come from a time where if the pathfinding is bad, we call that high skill opportunity. But I mean, how do you think about getting the controls, the motions, just the feel of the game to feel good in 2022?
좀 컨셉이라고 해야 되나? 그게 조금 약간 이상하다는 느낌?
You have to have hundreds, even thousands of units synchronized over the network and responsive in a way that high skill, like pro esports players feel good about playing the game. That's not easy. It does require custom technology. There's no engine that you buy off the shelf that does that for you. So we definitely started knowing that and having the benefit of our chief architect, James Anhalt, who did that work previously on StarCraft 2. So we've put a lot of effort into that for sure.
And this is going to be one of the first major RTSs people are aware of that is on Unreal Engine 5. What is it like working in this
Unreal
next
Engine
generation?
5을 만든 거야?
It's pretty incredible how far things have come from a graphics perspective, and I think the art team is unlocked in so many ways by what Unreal provides. So we're very excited. We're still learning everything that Unreal can do for us, but even that first cinematic that we debuted, like that's done in Unreal. So the high quality graphics that you're seeing are actually coming from Unreal as an engine.
So you've talked a little bit about, for new players, making the game feel a little more approachable, a little bit more streamlined, but obviously StarCraft, real-time strategy has this astonishingly long history as a competitive game, as an esport. And I'm curious, how is your team going to approach that?
So a lot of the emphasis
e스포츠도 고려를 하고 있다는 그런 거
what are
같은데.
things that we can add, especially around the gameplay experience. And one of those things is more seamless integration with esports. I mean, being able to sign up, participate in tournaments directly from the client in a way that gives players, even if you're not like top grandmaster, ready to take on Cyril, there's still an opportunity to be the best on your block or the best at your company or the best at your school. So we want to facilitate esports all the way from grassroots level up to the pro level directly in the client.
So, of course, in the history of RTS games, a really important component of them has always been mods. I mean, Warcraft 3, there's players
뭐야,
that play the original
유즈맵도
game, they just
유즈맵 얘기를
custom
하는데
mode
스투
after custom
유즈맵?
mode. The Stormgate.
이거도
How's
유즈맵이
modding? How are
있다는
you
건가?
thinking about the modding community?
A number of members of the Frost Giant team actually came out of the modding community. The team as a whole is very passionate about it. From the outset, we started out applying resources to build a custom editor. I think there's a lot of opportunity to make improvements to the editing experience for RTS. We are also working on the infrastructure for people to be able to share their mods with each other. So it's really core to us as a team to enable modding, and we're absolutely working on it.
And of course, we have to end with my favorite question of all. When can we play the game and how do we play it, Tim?
So we are going to start our beta in 2023. We already have a site stood up at playstormgate.com to be able to register for the beta. We have a lot of active discussion topics on our subreddit as well, so there's an opportunity to participate in the dialogue.
이게 악마랑 저 디바랑 싸우고 있는 게 말이 되냐고 디아블로랑.
We just got a chance to talk about Stormgate.
아니
free-to-play RTS
히오스도
from
아니고.
Frost Giant Studios. I'm personally super pumped to play it.
아니 나 컨셉이
Be sure to
이상한
check
거
it
같아
out
저거.
at playstormgate.com. Now Tim, I'm going to do a transition to the next game. Are you ready?
게임 퀄리티는 괜찮은 거 같은데.
Next, we're going to show you Leysara, Summit Kingdom from Quite OK Games. Now, as someone who has spent a medically inadvisable amount of time playing
그냥 뭔가
strategy games of all
컨셉을
sorts,
봤을 때 와
this
재밌겠다라는
looks
느낌이 안
incredibly
들어.
up my alley.
오 저게
And it looks a lot
뭐지?
safer than my last attempt to create
이거 맞아?
society
약간
in the
이런
mouth,
느낌?
2 words to yodeling accident. Let's check it out.
와 이거 빅토리아 3인가 보다. 아닌가? 아닌가 아니다. 이거는 시티 빌더인데? 베니시드 같은 그런 느낌의 게임인 것 같은데? 시티 빌더는 언제나 환영이죠. 이쁘네. 오. 야, 산을 올라가면서 만드는데? 약간 네팔이나 그쪽 느낌인데? 시티빌더는 언제나 환영이야. 제가 좋아하는 장르라. 이건 뭐지? 크래프팅도 있고 뭔가 생존 그런 건 것 같은데? 발헤임 같은 그런 느낌인데? 프로즌 플레임? 뭐지? 그럭저럭 할만하지 않을까요? 영상만 봐선 잘 모르겠네요. 저런 류 게임들이 워낙 많아서 어떤 차별점이 있을지.
Sound like the kind of place you'd want to build a cozy home with your friends, but instead you'll be raising fortresses and trying to tame the world, eventually growing tough enough to tackle the citadel that looms over everything and break the curse. Or you'll end up in the belly of a monster. still kind of cozy. The demo for Frozen Flame was released just before the show, so you can jump in or grab some co-op buddies and see how long you can survive for right now. And keep an eye out for the early access launch later this year.
월드 프리미어. 또 뭔가 최초 공개하네. 오, 빅토리아 3. 이거 기다리고 있었다고. 이거는 경제 시뮬레이터죠. 뭐 정복 이런 거보다. 뭐 정복도 할 수 있긴 하지만. 이야, 패러독스도 많이 발전했어. 프러시아.
You will meet the people back then, high and low, over cultures across the globe. They are the beating heart of your nation and form powerful groups with needs and desires.
청나라.
Listen to their calls and let it influence reform, or turn a deaf ear to protect what is proven and stable.
벌써부터 어질어질하구만.
Politics will decide where you want to go, but your economy,
경제.
how far you'll come. Taxes, production, trade, and construction. Play these cards right, and you can harness the Industrial Revolution.
야, 요거는 유로파에서 보던 그 틀이 아니야, 미션 틀이.
This is the engine you will need on the global stage. Use pacts, threats, and bluffs to secure
어질어질하면서도 재밌어 보인다.
Anything done by war can be achieved with diplomacy, but you can decide when push comes to shove.
역사.
Here you write the stories, and over time, the history of your world will
뭐야,
be
화산도 있어?
carved into the map. What will your society be like? What is the sound that will echo over continents and be
기대된다.
heard over the noise of time as you create your grand tomorrow?
그래서 2022년 올해 나온다고긴 하네요.
That was the gameplay debut of Victoria 3 from Paradox Interactive, a grand strategy game coming later this year. And let us take this moment to let you know you can wish us Victoria 3 by visiting the PC Gaming Show event page on Steam, where you'll be able to find every game featured in today's show. Type pcgamer.com/wishlist into your browser to be taken straight to there. And
끝인가?
now on with the show.
아니야. 끝은 아니네. 뉴 블러드겠지? 번잡해. 챙겨서 할 그럴 마음이 드는 게임들은 아니네. 요거는 괜찮을지도. 느낌 있는데? 그래, 차라리 요런게 뭐야. 바나나 껍질 던지는데? 재밌을지도?
What's up, PC gamers? We're back again. Now, what you just saw was everything.
왜 다 같은 게임이었어? 에이 설마.
A Medieval to Black Labyrinth,
아니지.
Act 2, Faith, Fallen Aces, and a brand new update for Dusk that's bringing all new HD models and weapons that nobody asked for. So we're doing it anyway. Now, last year you might have noticed we teased a bunch of games here that we weren't ready to talk about just yet. And we're still not ready to talk about those games.
그치, 다 다른 건데, 아, 그 뉴 블러드라는 회사에서 다 만든 건가?
Yes, we're still working on a Fallout style RPG, my dream game. And yes, we're still working on a car combat game, but we're not ready to talk about those games just yet. What I want to talk about is Gloomwood. Now, 2 years ago, y'all straight up forgot to show the Gloomwood trailer. Last year, you bumped me so Gabe Newell could talk about a bunch of demos or some shit. This year, PC Gamer, you promised we would get to show Gloomwood, so I don't want to hear any bullshit.
삿대질 좋아하는
You're on a Steam
형이네.
Deck ad right now or some shit. I'm gonna...
Steam Deck. Powerful, portable, PC gaming.
PC Gamer, you see this puppy? I will drown this puppy.
멍멍이 귀여운
If
거
you don't
봐.
let us show Gloomwood, I am going to drown this adorable... I would never do that. Hi, I love you. So yeah, we good?
No.
Can we show Gloomwood? Are you sure? Well, all right. It's about time.
New Blood Present. 아, 이게 아까 그거지. 글루미 뭐?
Hello, Doctor. I had hoped for us to meet at my estate.
모르겠다. 근데 난 그렇게 기대가 되는 게임은 아니긴 해.
I can guarantee your
때깔만 봐서.
a promise few others here can make. The townsfolk are not fond of outsiders. Don't delay.
이거는 플스 1까지는 아니고 한 플스 2 때 딱 그래픽. 아, 글룸 모드. 플스 2 초기. 나중에 후기 말고 초기, 초창기 때 좀.
There's only one thing I like more than playing New Bloods games. And that's probably the
아닌가?
URLs they
플스2가
make.
그래도 저 정도는
It wouldn't be a PC
아니었나?
gaming show without the silliest, most ridiculous website names in human history. Which is why I'm delighted to share that next we have a group of such games that run the gamut from medieval mayhem to an adorable animal fight club. And our first rule?
하긴 플스2가 저거보다는 그래픽이 좋았던 것 같기도 하고. 또 월드 프리미어네. 야, 뭐가 많긴 하다. 두 시간 진짜 채울 것 같은데? 이건 뭐야?
Corrupted what? Why is it always doing this just when I need to showcase the game? Okay, I'm gonna take that. Have you tried
이런 거 보면 데어리즌 록게임이었나 그거
The update
생각나는데.
to System 10.1.1 will provide a clean sorting of all your files and ensure that situations like this won't ever happen.
Oh, no, nobody's updating me.
약간 그런 느낌이면 재밌긴 하겠는데.
Haha, thank you, but we'll pass. Okay, so I do have a backup of the trailer. While I go rummage into the bin for it, please welcome my personal assistant. That will do a great job at pitching the game for you. Talk about how cool I am in the story and how funny and witty. You know, just talk about me. Found it. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer. Okay, who had the amazing idea to save the trailer back up in 14.4 pixels? Do we have any ants working for us?
Backfire War. 어, 이거는 뭐야?
The survival of thy noble
약간 리월드
family
느낌인가?
depends on their ability to rule the city.
리월드 느낌인 것 같은데?
With valor and to learn. Oh, if only it were that easy.
오. 어머나, 어머나. 재밌을 것 같은데? 리월드 같은 거면 재미가 없을 수가 없잖아. 노랜드 스토리 제너레이팅 시트레티지라는 거 보니까 리월드 스타일이죠 딱? 이건 뭐야? 뭐야 이거는? 포니 대전 액션? 여러분 저건 속이긴 한데 네발 동물들의 대전 액션이라고? 야, 아찔하다. 이건 좀 아찔하다. 기존에 있는 게임이라는 거 아니야 지금 업데이트라는 건. 야, 이런 게임이 있는 줄은 나 알지도 못했네. 뭐야, 저 둘이 아니야? 어질어질하네. 도트 느낌. 약간 코어키퍼류인데 이거? 아, 코어키퍼다. 코어키퍼 이번에 업데이트 한다고 했거든요. 그 지하 그 약간 해상 지역. 코어키퍼 맞는 것 같은데? 맞네. 요거도 게임이 참 잘 만들었죠. 확실히 아까 그 오, 보스. DLC가 아니라 그냥 업데이트라는 게 좀 대단한 것 같아.
That was the latest DLC for Core Keeper, the sandbox survival sim from Fireshine Games and Pugstorm. The Sunken Sea biome update is available on June 15th for all Core Keeper players. Now we have even more twists and turns and trailers, so press enter to continue. Did you press it? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you pressed it. No, but seriously, press it.
이건 뭐야?
Life can be harsh everywhere, but in the old world, there was no hope of it ever improving. When our crops failed, the ruling class would still collect the same share, leaving our children to starve. And if we had any coin to our name, the taxman would appear, demanding you for the crown. The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls and did nothing when raiders pillaged the outskirts of the city.
한 배경 보면
And so, some of us decided
중세는 조금 지난 느낌인데.
we'd rather take our chances in the wilderness, seeking the promise of a new land, than starve to death in our homeland. The journey wasn't easy. We lost many along the way. This wild, unsettled land offers us the hope of a new start as the masters of our own destiny.
무슨 게임인지 잘 모르겠다. 스토리 중심의 게임인가? 또 월드 프리미어. 준비 많이 했구나. 이건 뭐야? 처음 보는 회사 같은데?
Our life depends on the whims of the weather. Our life is tied to this earth.
The water we harvest, the plants we grow, the air we filter. Any waste would be fatal to our survival.
We must learn to live in harmony with this world. For too long, we have wandered without purpose. From now on, our city will be a source of
시티빌도 인데? 약간 우주 배경의 그 뭐야 파라오나 시저 느낌인데? 야 이거 좀 내 취향인데? 이거 좀 내 취향인데? 취향 저격인데? 야 이거 좀 기대된다. 제가 시저 이런 거 되게 좋아하거든요. 그래서 최근에는 안노 1800도 되게 재밌게 했었는데 이거 약간 그런 느낌 나는데? 그런 느낌의 시티 빌더 느낌 나는데? 시너지? 배경이 우주라는 것도 독특하고.
The planet we almost lost, then found a reason to stay. Take it from me, this place wants you dead. But we've made
이건 뭐야?
progress. Learned the lay of the land. How to use Icarus to our advantage. Our friends at the UDA are offering up a slice, a whole new
약간 생존 게임인가 이것도?
If you learn, build, and survive.
그러네, 생존 게임이네.
Just maybe there's a future here. Think you got what it takes?
이카루스? 기존에 있던 거였나 보다. 프리 DLC에 추가하는데요? 제가 해본 게임은 아니라 가지고 잘 모르겠네요.
Right now, modders Sean FMP1 Snelling and Corey Latto are making something incredibly special in the form of an ambitious mod for Half-Life Alyx. It's called Levitation. It's an original 4 to 5 hour
이거 알릭스 그거.
Valve's original VR game, Half-Life Alyx. With Alyx searching for a pair of rebels gone rogue, they've discovered a strange floating building in Sector X and decided to investigate it, against orders, obviously, and now it's your turn. Let's go back to the world of Gordon, G-Man, and Alyx with this exclusive gameplay footage.
Alex, according to this old resistance map, there's a control room somewhere outside the building you're in. Sorry if that's vague, the map was drawn using somebody's blood.
실제로 저렇게 걸어가는 스타일로 VR 게임 하면 멀미 오져가지고 플레이 너무 힘들고, 그래도 트레일러 보여주는 건 저렇게 해야지. 모르겠다. 알릭스가 진짜 좋았던 거는 그 VR을 최대한 활용했던 그 상호작용들 때문인데, 단순히 스토리만 추가하고 뭐 그런다고 뭐가 얼마나 뛰어날지는 잘 모르겠는데.
Alex, I'm detecting an incredibly large energy signature up ahead. It's probably Gordon Freeman, and not anything bad at all. Definitely, probably Gordon Freeman.
Okay, so the plan is to get to that control room and get Gordon.
Oh boy.
Getting kind of crowded down here, Russ.
잘 모르겠다. 이런 영상으로는 사실 그 알릭스의 그 추가적인 그 모드나 어쨌든 그런 거 확장팩으로 기대된다 어쩐다를 논하기는 좀 좋은 영상 같지는 않아요. 여기서 저 헬멧을 써주거나 막 이런 거가 있으면 좋았을 것 같아. 그냥 여기서 이제 보여주는 거라고는 전반적인 분위기하고 약간 총싸움? 적들과의 대치? 이런 건데. 오, 그치, 요런 거를 좀 이제 보여줘야지. 야, 근데 VR로 이렇게 플레이하기는 좀 힘들지. 멀미 오질 텐데.
Oh, nice.
오, 요거는 약간 VR 컨트롤러를 활용한 게임 플레이를 보여주네. Not bad. 처음 괜찮다. 뒤로 갈수록 이제 좀 보여주네요. 기대할 만한 걸. VR로 이런 식으로 플레이하면 뭐야 여기 이거는 VR로 플레이를 해서 촬영을 한 거는 아니지 않을까? 사람이 저거를 버틴다고? 레비테이션 이거 공식으로 나오는 거야? 아니지 스팀 워크샵이지 그냥 모드지.
Well, folks, this is the end. We've learned a lot today about ourselves, about computers, about genetically engineered space.
2시간 딱 채우고 끝나는
So many
느낌이네요.
games on the way, there has truly never been a better time to be part of the PC gaming community.
Over the course of the last 2 hours, we saw games from developers all over the world, and we wanted to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show. All the developers who shared their work with us, and of course, all of the partners for their help bringing the PC gaming show to life.
Indeed, remember to tip your servers, install your firmware updates, and tell me if you know where to find a 3090 Ti. Tell me immediately. Anywhere you can find one, let me know. And of course, a warm thanks to you again for joining us at this year's PC Gaming Show. It's something I look forward to every year, and we're thrilled that you joined us again. See you next time. Bye-bye.
바이바이. 어쨌든 재밌게 봤네요.
This is the official PC Gaming Show 2022 pre-show. It's the live show before the pre-recorded show.
마지막까지.
Go to the start. Make sure you're...
자, 끌게요. 재미있었어요. 저는 지금 좀 많이 졸려가지고 여기까지 방송하고 가볼게요. 자, 그럼 모두 자고 일어나서 봅시다. PC 게이밍 쇼 재밌었어요. 저는 가보겠습니다. 안녕. 방송 봐주셔서 감사해요.